You know, there comes a moment in every book collector's life where you just realize, I'm running out of space and I gotta make room. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I am Andrew, and today I've got another unhaul here for you. But before we get into that unhaul, make sure you are liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content, because I drop 2 videos a week. And guys, I have a rather massive book haul, actually a few massive book hauls coming down the pipe, and my shelves are mostly full. If you see gaps, it's because it's already pulled off and awaiting a TBR, MBR. I've got them set to the side. I'm running out of space. I have added a whole nother row of shelves down below the camera where you can't see, and yet I still think that those will be full in the next 3 to 4 months. And so it's time to make some room. And I just went through my entire collection and I had to make some difficult choices. Some of these are going to friends, some of these are going to charity shops, some of them are for sale. I will be seeing what's going on here and what I decide to do with all of these books. A lot of these are just, I have, a different option available, like I can get them on audio for like either, Scribd or something like that, or like through Libby, or I just didn't enjoy the books all that much and they're taking up space, even if they're beautiful editions, or I need to buy new copies because there was an unfortunate incident involving a half-full cup of coffee and my cat. So yes, we will talk about that in a minute. But let's start with one of the biggest just heartbreakers for me. And they're right here, guys. And this is such a difficult decision for me to let these go. But they are going to a good home. These are going to my buddy Nico, where they will be loved and cherished forever. And these are my hardcover Discworlds of the Death Collection only. I'm keeping the Witches, and I am keeping City Watch. You know City Watch is staying on my shelf. There's no way I'm getting rid of City Watch. I'm kind of 50-50 with the Witches right now, but the Death Collection was mostly a miss for me. I really did enjoy, only one I really enjoyed was Thief of Time. And I also kind of enjoyed Reaper Man. Like every part that was Death's thing, where he's like on the farm doing his thing, I enjoyed that part of Reaper Man, but the other half of the story didn't really work for me. And so I've got these books. They're the nice Discworld hardback collections. I am going to be passing these on to my good buddy Nico. Alright, so those were a difficult decision to make. I'm also getting rid of this one because even though it's gorgeous, I've heard some mixed reviews about it, and I still have access to this one via audio, which doesn't take up any shelf space, on Scribd, and that's the Forever Sea by Joseph Philip Johnson. I'm also sending this one to Nico because I know Nico is a sucker for a gorgeous cover. And so sadly, I just need to make room. I don't know when I was ever going to get to this one, at least in a reasonable amount of time. I figured I would free up some shelf space so that I can, cultivate my collection a little bit. Alright, next up we have got Among Thieves by M.J. Kuhn. This is one where I love the blue and the black and the white motif of the cover with these little pops of color. I've talked about this book just from a visual aspect here on the channel when I talked about blue and black covers. I'll link that video up in the cards if you want to check it out. But essentially, this one I've tried starting it a couple times and it didn't pull me in immediately. This one I also have access to via audio on Scribd, so I can still consume the story without the book taking up space on my shelf. Because again, it's another one where I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. Alright guys, this one is a little bit of buyer's remorse. Also available on Scribd, so if I do want to consume this one, again, I can listen to the audiobook there. But it's, Ship of Smoke and Steel. I like the cover. When I purchased this, I didn't know it was a YA book. And so when I received the book and it said, Torteen, I was like, oh, it's not really my thing. This is a signed copy as well. And the inside has gorgeous art on the dust jacket. Let me see if I can. I just noticed this as I was thinking about getting rid of it. And I was like, well, I've already made a decision. I don't plan on buying the other 2 books in the series. And so because I'm kind of a completionist, I don't really want it on my shelf, even though I completely picked this up and was like, yeah, I like Django Wexler. I don't need this on my shelf. And so the whole trilogy is available on Scribd. Why am I going to have that here on my shelf taking up space? Now, I've got a mass market paperback. I can speak English. I talk so fast sometimes that I just get tongue-tied. And I've got the mass market paperback version of this. This was sent to me by Nico. And that's Lewis McMaster Bejeweled's The Curse of Shallyan. And this is a nice reader copy. I never got around to reading this yet. I still have my mass market paperbacks. I don't really do duplicate copies. And when Nico sent this to me, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, there's not matching editions. The art is different. Like, it's just kind of a mismatch. And, like, I'm so neurotic when it comes to my collection that I want my editions to match. So, we are going to be sending that one forward. And when Nico was last in town, we went to a bunch of bookshops. And I picked up The Court of Broken Knives by Anna Smith Spark. And then it's just sat there. And I've not given this a second glance. I've not even considered it. I was just like, you know what? Like, it's a trilogy. The artwork is also kind of inconsistent on the covers, if I remember correctly. Like, I think there's just, it's not really clear when you're getting a UK or an American. And so the art's all kind of all over the place, which drives me absolutely nuts. So for now, I'm going to say no to this. I may pick it up again. I don't know, I've done that before where I've unhauled a book and then just went and bought another copy of said book when I changed my mind. This may end up being one of those, but for right now, I just don't need it on the shelf. Now this one, I love this book. This is a 5-star book for me. This is Magician by Raymond E. Feist. However, I mentioned duplicate editions, and I was looking on the wrong shelf, this gorgeous Easton Press edition of Magician. And if I'm going to read it, honestly, I'm going to read it out of this one because this is a premium reading experience. If you have a special edition, I mean, other than just sitting on the shelf and looking pretty, I would love to read from this edition. And so I don't really need this one anymore, and it's thick, so it takes up shelf space. And so, sadly, I have to say it's time to go. All right, I'm gonna put this down here because I don't want to break it. All right, now this one's gonna hurt because I didn't like this, and this author has 7 entries being unhauled because, personally, for me, the best place to stop in the realm of the Elderlings is Book 9. It never got better than Book 9 for me personally, and so I am getting rid of my Fitz and the Fool. And, I mean, these are these gorgeous, Assassin's Fate, which I really did not like this ending to the series. Fool's Quest and Fool's Assassin were decent entries. I just don't know if I'm ever going to really re-listen to them again. I also have those on audio, so if I do want to listen to them again or read them again, I have that option available. And I mentioned 7 entries here. That's because Rain Wild Chronicles is here as well. I do not like these books. And as much as I am a completionist, if I, in my mind, separate Realm of the Elderlings from Book 9 onwards, and I can say Book 9 is where it ends, I think I can trick my completionist brain into allowing me to get rid of Rain Wild, because I'm never going to read these again. This had a bunch of tropes in it that I didn't like. I didn't really like the setting, I didn't like the lore, I didn't like the dragons, I didn't like the characters. There was just nothing here that I really liked. I liked the writing because it was Robin Hobb, but that was about it. And so I am going to free up some shelf space and let these puppies go. But City of Dragons, Dragon Haven, and Dragon Keeper. So we've got those. All right. We've then got these 3. And this is one of my buddy Mike from Mike's Book Reviews likes to make fun of me because I DNF so quickly. And here, this series kind of proves the point. So, I was trying to read Revenger by Alastair Reynolds. And what ended up happening is, I'm like 3 pages in, and I see a descriptor that immediately put me off. And I was just like, no, I don't want to read that. The line was, he had buttered his words until they were soggy. And I was like, no thanks. No, I don't. For some reason, that descriptor just turned me off of this series like that. And then I was kind of reading a little further, because I read to the end of the first chapter, but I'd already decided to put it down by that point. I didn't like the 2 protagonists. I thought I was getting like the swashbuckling space, pirates and stuff like that, and it's just a couple girls sneaking onto a space pirate thing, and then the adventure goes. And I didn't really like those protagonists, and I was like, okay, no, this isn't for me. I will still read some Alastair Reynolds, but not those. Alright, these hurt because these are gorgeous copies. And this is Vinland Saga Volume 1 and Volume 2. The hardback editions. So, I had to be honest with myself, because each of these took me 3 hours to read. And these are $20 a piece. So from a financial standpoint, I think there are 12 of these. I'm not going to spend $240 for 36 hours of reading. Realistically, like that, and a full shelf. These take up a lot of space. These are thick. And it just came down to a financial and kind of space aspect where I'm just like, you know what? They're thick. They don't take a lot to read. And they're expensive. And so I just decided to move on. My library has them all, so I'm going to continue reading Vinland Saga. I'm just not going to have them on my shelf because, frankly, I don't really want to do that to myself. Now, I had mentioned an unfortunate coffee incident. And let me just get some of this lined up because most of these are being replaced. So these are being unhauled, air quotes unhauled. All right, I'm just trying to get the coffee devastation into the correct frame. Right there, you can see an unfortunate incident happened with some coffee. Now, 3 of these I already have replacement copies for. So luckily, my Masters of Sorrows, I love this book because it's so beautiful. I do have a replacement for this one already, but this copy is going off the shelf. So I'm just kind of including it because I want to complain about the fact that a bunch of my books got coffee spilled on them, and you guys are just here for that. Dark Tower 7, bought a replacement copy already. And then we've got Song of Susanna, already got a replacement copy. So those were splattered with coffee. Now the ones that hurt are Philip C. Quantrell's Empire of Dirt and Relic of the Gods. This is book 2 and book 3. I've read book 2. I think this series has a lot of potential, but has a terrible, terrible audiobook narrator in Stephen Brand. He has a very flat delivery. And so it makes me question of, do I want to replace my physical copies? And the answer is yes, I do want to replace my physical copies. It just may take me some time to do that. But yeah, these will be getting replaced. But these editions are going as that happens. And then finally, well, I say finally because I've got a potential unhaul as well. And we've got Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I'm keeping Children of Time, but I'm going to treat that trilogy as if it's a standalone. I know the 3rd book is coming out. Honestly, I got halfway through this and I was bored to absolute tears, guys. And so I don't need this thickum boy, I should say, on my shelf when I didn't enjoy it. And I can honestly say that it's not the audio experience that kind of turned me off of it. It's just, it's not as fresh and invigorating and interesting as the first book was. It was just kind of a more repackaged series. Now, my buddy Patrick, my good friend Patrick Leo, recently released a video where he unleashed Salty Patrick, and it got me thinking about Grace of Kings and the Dandelion Dynasty, and specifically Speaking Bones, the 4th book, released on hardcover, and it doesn't match. And as I watched that video, I am still deciding on whether or not I'm going to keep these or pass these on, because frankly, like, the spines don't match. The cover art closely matches, but, like, it was lazy. And Patrick is 100% right. They should be ashamed. Like, Saga should be ashamed of themselves for how badly they messed up from just a collector's standpoint. And so I know that there is some really cool artwork that is available on the UK versions of these. And I may just go out and get the UK paperbacks instead with kind of that kind of turquoise teal color motif. Those look really interesting to me. So, and I think those are done by Head of Zeus, if I remember correctly. So I may just be going on like Book Depository and getting those, and then just passing on my US hardcovers, because if you can't make it match, why am I going to give you my money? That said, guys, that is everything that I am planning on passing on. If I did my math right, it's around 32 books. I don't want to tell you how much my next book haul is, because it's larger than what I'm unhauling, and that makes me sad. That said, guys, let me know in the comments down below if you agree with this unhaul, what thoughts you may have. I would love to have a good old discussion about what I am getting rid of here today. And as always, guys, please make sure you're liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification if you want to get more updates when I put out new videos, or signing up for that Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And as always, guys, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.